hide Ymir's identity in front of Krista. Fret not now, the audience confusion isn't a bad thing. That's true. It usually draws them in and leaves them wanting, oh my god, we know this because of Attack on Titan. The way Isayama confused us. That is true. As long as details are eventually fleshed out, it's ought to be a smart choice to leave the crumbs instead of the whole meal to the reader. That is true. If the author continues the story, I'm sure chapter 2 will be worth it. That is true, Gaby. That's very true.
Thank you for the comment.
Yes, thank you for like everyone for your comments because they gave like such good feedbacks. You have everyone's amazing feedbacks here. Okay, should we start with the second piece?
Do we have time,
Since
Jill? Or
Yeah, time is almost done. Donc, okay.
okay, so it's just to wrap up. You want to wrap it up, Ness, and then we can proceed with the work.
yeah, so I think if the author kind of, fleshes out the details a bit, if the author kind of like makes dialogues more natural, and if they manage to keep the same intrigue throughout the story, throughout like the continuing chapters and slowly reveal the information, I think this would make a great piece. Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
all.
Yep. So we're really
Yes, yes.
excited to the author to continue this piece. Look forward to seeing this published whether on AO3 or wherever she feels like posting this. And obviously, we'll be there to support her in her progress in this particular story. So yeah, props to you. My
Hey.
congratulations to the author. Yay! Congrats to you as well, Ness. We survived the first piece. We got 8 more works to go. And two
Yay.
more hours to go for this entire workshop. All right, so there's a few more commentaries that people have sent me. They forwarded the works to me, so I'll just give this to the author after the entire session. But for
Yes,
now,
we have
let's
like.
move on to the second
Hmm.
work. You ready,
Yep.
Ness?
Yep, we have hidden variable. Okay. This one
Okay,
was
there we
pretty
go.
good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what basically I liked about this piece is that it had a great hook and it had like a good flow. And like over here Levi is a trans man as the author has, added in the description in the end. Wait, let me just open that one a little bit. Yeah,
So just
so
a quick, sorry, just a quick
go ahead. Go ahead.
comment. So the author goes by Zone. That's their code name. Their pronouns are they, them. So if you guys want to
Yeah.
refer to the author in the work, please feel free to use their preferred pronouns. So yeah, we're opening now the floor for comments on the second piece, hidden variable by Zone. Ness, you can go ahead. I'm
Yay!
multitasking, so I'm
So
screaming and doing everything at the same time.
you're multitasking. Yes,
Yep.
so basically this is a fic that is canon compliant. It goes according to a choice with no regrets AU where Levi is a trans man and he seeks out a job to pay for his top surgery. So Isabel does not know about the surgery or the fact that Levi is trans, but Farlan does, and they have taken on this job of like the entire Erwin Smith job to pay for the surgery as well as living above the ground. So this is like a pretty good premise, and I was
Mm-hmm.
super intrigued by this entire thing because um, and one of the things that really stood out to me is how seamlessly it kind of incorporates Levi's pain on his chest because of all the bandaging that he does into like all the small interactions he has with Farlan, and the tone is pretty good. It feels like the actual manga or anime. Like the setting is perfect. I think the characters are quite in character. They're close to their canonical selves, and and this has like great potential for angst, and it will also explore all the difficulties that trans people face and pretty excited to see where Hanji would come in and play a role in the story, because they might be able to understand what Levi is going through and what, where he's coming from, and probably like give the support that he desperately needs. Okay, comments? Yep.
Anyone who wants to
We
say
have Anna.
something through the voice? Yep.
We have who said, what did I question? Okay, it may the plot was a little hard to follow in the first part, but maybe because it's an excerpt. Yeah, that's true. Like, it's just like the first chapter. Levi and where? Who is this person? Where did they meet? Oh yeah. The author has given like an excerpt in the end that um, kind of like gives you the entire story as to what's really happening. So I think in the start you might not really understand what's going on, but as you read on, I think it's pretty obvious. Um, yeah. Just okay. Yeah. Injury, yes, maybe I thought injury at first as well, but later it was kind of apparent that there's something going on which is not related to any sort of injuries, but it's definitely on with like why Levi's bandaging his chest. Mm,
I agree because I think the story already caught my attention with just with the opening statement. I don't
yes.
run a charity. The surgeon had said there was a way to pay for the surgery, but if he hesitated, he'd talk himself out of it. So that alone is already for me at
Yes.
least attention grabbing because there's already a main plot point. You know that Levi doesn't have the
Mm-hmm.
money to pay for his surgery, which also like what people have said so far, it does connect to the canon scenes of A Choice with No
That's
Regrets.
true.
Have you watched it or read it, Ness?
I have. I have.
Choice with No Regrets.
Yeah.
Yep, the background of Levi in the
Mm-hmm.
underground world. So yeah, so I think it's a very interesting premise, even though this is just an excerpt of a multi-chaptered fic. There's this inclination for us to
Hmm.
follow Levi's story here, at the same time to tie up with some of the elements in canon. So I guess for me as a reader, I just want to know like how much of the story is canon. Because I think this is a canon. We could treat this as a canon
Mm-hmm.
divergent story with some changes
Yes. Yes.
in what
That,
we think or what we believe is like considered real in the story. And to be honest,
that is
I'm
true.
always intrigued in these kinds of stories where we do a spin-off with
Mm-hmm.
characterizations, in this case Levi. So I just remember I read
Mm-hmm.
this fan fiction before of like Sarah Lynn, my favorite from BoJack Horseman. It's a story where she came out as non-binary, but it is interesting because you get to understand these characters' motivations, their feelings throughout the story, what they're
That is
going
true.
through, and what they're feeling, what they're thinking. So you as a reader, you just get to empathize, you get to understand, and I think that's the quality stories. We want to feel our humanity. More often than not, we like stories that make
That
our
is
heart
true.
flutter, but we also want stories that matter to us. So I guess for this particular fic, how can we learn to
Yes.
understand Levi in this story even better? This is probably a question that I also want to throw out to you, Nez, or
That
to
is true.
everyone who's listening right now. What do you suppose needs to happen, or what do you think what
Hmm.
will happen? What do you wish we need to read more of in terms of Levi's point of view? So that's
I
my
think
comment for that.
we I think we need to like see more of Levi,
15 minutes left.
like
Sorry, Ness.
struggling.
We got you, Jill.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
I
sorry
don't
to
Thank
know
you.
if
interrupt.
we got this.
Yeah. So I think as the story progresses and we get to see more of Levi, struggling with ODM gear and things like that while he has like these pains in his chest. I think that would, as the author already gave in their post, what can I say, postscript, as
Hmm.
to how Hanji and Levi are going to form like a bond together, because Hanji noticed that he kind of like does not have the same bearing as everyone else when he uses the ODM. So maybe when that comes in, we can like opens up to Hanji. And I'm really looking forward to that because the story feels like pretty natural. It feels like, oh yeah, this could easily happen in, the canon verse. Like, this would definitely not be, like, it's not a jarring shift as such. And because they are very true to character, the way the author has written these characters is just very, uh, you know, canon like.
Mhm.
And I really like that. I really like
Definitely.
good characterization.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yep. So let's read some of the comments in the workshops channel. Annie
Yep.
also likes the rhythm, the characterization, seeing Leo's interaction with Farlan and Isabel. It's fantastic, and the the domesticity of it was beautiful. Creations are like off the hook right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. But and then there's also this wonderful friendship between the trio that we get to see. Personally, I'd like to know why Levi prefers to keep the secret from Isabel because towards the end we get to
That's true.
see that
That's true.
conversation between Farlan and Levi and Farlan asking
Hmm.
Levi to like just tell Isabella his secret. So I mean, it's interesting. Like I want to know why, what's his motivation behind that, and why does Levi think that it's better to just keep it a
Hmm.
secret for now in the story, and how will that play out throughout the entire fic once we read the other chapters. Just trying to read some of the other comments.
That is very
Any
true.
continues. The dialogues are fluent and it does push forward the plot, the plot. Leo's inner turmoil,
Wow.
although already understandable for his situation, could be explored more in depth in the next chapters, perhaps. Maybe Annie
Hmm.
recommends maybe perhaps deleting some of the dialogue tags because it's already clear who's speaking. Repeating she said, he said can slow it down.
That's true.
For me, when it comes to that, I think using the word said or say or what are the other like dialogue tags that we
Hmm.
normally she asked, he asked, so and so forth. I think that's
Yeah.
normal because those words are very invisible. I don't mind those getting repeated
That's
to be
true.
honest because in my mind, like my mind is already like processing everything as a
Hmm.
conversation. It's more of a distinction on who's actually speaking, 'cause especially if there are a lot of people
That's true.
interacting with each other in that particular scene. So it's sort of helpful. And then Anne continues as it is a short
Hmm.
piece. It's very fast paced and well managed. It already starts with the main problems as Ness has
Yes,
already
I really
mentioned.
like the
Yep,
pacing.
yep. And then you get to see his
The
pain,
pacing was
Levi's
pretty good.
pain, him being able. Exactly. I kind of enjoy that as well. So in terms of advice,
Hmm.
like you and I have already mentioned Ness, and he also recommends the author to go deeper into the main character's mind. So far, so good. Um,
Yep.
it's a recommended material, especially
Uncomfortable.
those who want to understand trans people in this particular world building that the author has provided for us. Because personally, I don't understand how it goes either. So reading this story really opens up my mind as well.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Same.
So it does
Same.
open up our eye on cultural and societal aspects, how we behave as a society, and how trans people also see themselves. Uh, so yeah, Ra also agrees with you, Nez. I'm just reading it
That's
throughout the
very true.
comments, but there's so much
Hey.
potential. Probably Anks as well. And we all want to see, obviously, how the
Thanks.
relation unfolds
Yes.
between Hanji and Levi. Uh, yeah,
10
then
minutes
That is
Gabby.
left.
true.
10 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up at the 5 minute mark
Yep.
so that
Got
the
it.
last 2 minutes will be saved for reveal because they choose to reveal themselves, and then they can also talk about the projects in deeper, like in
Hey.
a deeper perspective. So it's exciting
I'm
once you
so
find out
excited.
who this person is. Yep. So Gabby also mentioned that the writing style is very incredibly easy to
Hey,
follow. Hi,
Gabby.
Gabby. Without compromising the quality at all. Uh, it's very heartwarming and
That's true.
accurate.
That's
Mhm.
true.
especially the dinner and the bath scene. Ooh, I like the bath scene. It's
The
very yep.
characterization's on
It's
point.
not even like
Oh
there's just
yeah,
so much tenderness and affection.
it's so cute.
Exactly. With like Levi
I know. It's
taking
very
care of
cute.
Isabel. So the characterization is on point. There's also the author has also utilized a variety of sentence constructions. Abby, why don't you just read this? Why do you let us read this? The concept is, aren't you like the most talkative person among us in the server typing this? Uh, Gabby recommends that a way to flesh it out is to just add descriptions of the settings, giving that these do change from time to time in this
That's
episode.
true. That's true. That's true. I think that was also like one of the recommendations I would give to the author, as in like add more descriptions of the underground city and the home that they stay in. Yeah, of course we have seen like what it looks like in the anime, but like
Mm-hmm.
even when you're writing a fan fiction, I think if you put in descriptions about the setting, I think it helps to increase the reader's interest towards what's the mood of the story and what the atmosphere is, and it's like pretty good to read.
Yep, definitely. Anybody else want to add some input, or at least if you want to encourage the writers on the voice channel, feel free to do so. Um, just I guess I don't know what else to say except that I enjoy the story and we look forward to reading
I
more
know.
about this particular premise, this particular world building. Maybe shout out as well to Scrivener.
Yeah.
I like Scrivener. I think it's
Yay!
the number one writing app
Scrivener
for
is such a
budding
great.
writers. It is.
Yes. Oh man. The story kind of reminded me of Lynn's arts, Levi Han arts. Like,
Ooh,
for some
definitely.
reason, it's
Is Okami here? No, they're
right.
not. Yep. Anyone else
It
wants?
was it
Mhm.
was like very reminiscent of
Yep, I've
theirs.
seen a lot of their
Go
works
ahead.
as well. And it's very interesting to be able to see these characters in a different characterization apart from how we usually perceive them. It's really refreshing, and I think it's very opening as well. So
Yeah.
really more, I'm really
The
intrigued.
representation's pretty good.
Exactly. Jill, do we have a few more minutes?
Go on.
How many minutes do we have left?
5 minutes left.
All right. Uh, do you have anything else to say, Ness, or do you want to open the floor for the author reveal already?
Oh, I want to open the floor for the author review. I'm like super excited to see
All
who's in
right,
this.
all right, all right. Well, then let's give it a round of applause for Cal. They're the author of Hidden Variable.
Hey!
Hooray! So, Cal, you want to go on voice and tell us
Wait!
something? Tell us something about the work and how the feedback can help you out. Do you want to say anything? For context, Cal's like just woke up, so I think it's like around 9:44 a.m. in their time zone. So thank you so much for waking up this early. Well, I told Cal I'd wake them. I would ask Gabby and Jello to wake them up if ever they oversleep. Hi, Cal.
Hi. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks. I found all the
Okay.
feedback really helpful. Definitely pointed out some things that like I wasn't thinking about as writing in terms of like why Levi wasn't telling Isabel and sort of like what I need to
Mhm.
flesh out. And yeah, I really appreciate that everyone took the time to read it and all the thoughtful feedback. I'll definitely be incorporating that as I move forward. So thank you.
Do you guys have questions for Cal? I have one. So Cal, have you already like outlined what's gonna happen in the story, or are you still working on the other chapters as you go?
Um,
You already have a solid plot in mind, how it's gonna work out in the end, or do you have a specific ending in mind? You don't have to spoil us. I like it. I'm just wondering, like, how's your writing process with this particular piece?
with this piece, I don't have like a solid outline written out, but I do reference.
Mm-hmm.
I have an illustrated copy of A Choice of No Regrets that I sit and like
Oh, I
reference
love
as I
that.
write this. So like that's kind
Ooh.
of my main go-to in terms of like thinking about overall pacing and structure of the story.
Gotcha. And I think it's really wonderful
That's
because
great. I really enjoyed it.
especially since I read
Go on, go on.
and all of their works are really amazing. It follows the same structure or at least the same characterizations, where we get to focus more on this particular spin on their personalities and traits. So we're really excited to read more of this story of yours, Cal.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I'm so going to continue the story.
Yes, please
Oh
do.
boy, I'm
Oh,
excited.
yeah.
Hey, nice job.
Yay!
Thank you so
Round of
much.
applause for Cal.
Hey.
Got it. Is
Right.
that the second? Okay.
Do we go
Ready
for-
for the next third one? Is can you still
Yay!
talk? I had like 2 cups of coffee for this particular event, so I'm just trying to hype myself up. So if anyone wants to talk, please do. You're not honestly, you're not cutting us off if you go on voice channel and just talk.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate
Please
it because
do.
I honestly can't speak for 3 hours straight. All right.
We need
Yeah,
someone
this
to
is
help
gonna
our
be tiring.
case.
I'm gonna snooze. I know. Yeah, I wanted this, but it's really nice, especially since there are a lot of people right now.
I
Seeing them on the
know.
voice channel. They're trying to help us out as much as they can. And it's really uplifting, especially for the authors. I'm pretty sure they appreciate
It is.
all the help that you can provide them. Since this is like one in a lifetime, or once in a blue moon event where you get to gather different people who care about the author's writing and they can actually provide how do you call it,
Good
specific
constructive
comments for
feedback.
your
Yes.
exactly. Yep.
I'm so
Are you
excited.
ready for the next one, for the third
Yeah,
one?
let's Yay! It's called For You I Will, and the
There we
author's
go. The
name is
longest.
she her.
Yep. So the author goes by
Um,
Bella in this story. They choose not to reveal, so we'll be exhausting all 20 minutes. Just providing feedback. Just want to
yep, on
remind
feedback.
everyone that the preferred pronouns are she, her. If you want to refer to the author, um, tag warnings or angst, the dysfunctional family, blackmailing, and violence. So if you're not comfortable with that, you can choose to mute the server for now and then just come back when you feel comfortable to do so. Just a reminder for everyone. So yeah, we're gonna open the floor
Yep.
now for comments. Go ahead, Ness. You can do this.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yes. Okay. Let's start about like what I like with the piece. Um, I think the author is like pretty great at writing emotions and inner thoughts that go on inside a character's mind. And one of the things that really stood out to me from this entire fic was Mike's letter in the middle. Holy shit, that was funny. Like, if you can read that out, please do, because oh my god, that was great. That was absolutely funny. Um, there is, I think, one thing I've noticed with this fic is that there's a lot of switching between present and past tense, especially in the beginning, in the earlier parts of the fic. So if the author sticks to like one consistent tense, maybe like past tense or completely like using it, because this fic happens in like flashbacks, right? So it happens in like it's not a
Exactly.
chronological timeline. So if the author wrote it in like full past tense, I think it might be easier for them to like switch over as well. Um, but apart from that, there's nothing wrong in writing in present tense. It's great.
That's
You
okay.
just have to make sure that like your tenses are consistent. That's about it. Um, and well, about the characters and the characterization, I think I guess most of it, like about like 70% of it is you know, as it goes, as Hanji and Levi are. But a part of it kind of is does not feel like them. As in you have Levi and his entire outburst that he has, like the drunken outburst he has with Mike, and the way that Hanji kind of like agrees to this entire marriage thing, even if she doesn't want to do it. I think that's
Yeah.
like it's kind of out of character. Because yeah, the author does write later that Hanji never wanted to do this, so she kind of planned the escape, from the
Yeah.
beginning. But still, the fact that she agreed and went went on with this entire thing, this entire charade, until the end was, I guess, it was for the drama of it, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
It just feels like probably there should be some more stakes when it comes to the marriage, the entire marriage deal. So while the author did mention that there are some sort of thing that's going on with Hanji's family and the debt that they are under, which makes them, marry her off or something like that. I think it should be given more like detailings to it, and show why exactly she's being forced to marry, right? Like she doesn't want to do it, but why do her parents want her to get married in the first place? I think if that's fleshed out a little
Mhm.
bit, you will be like super invested in the plot to see what's going on, because this is like your trope of running away from the marriage, right? Which is like a pretty popular trope, and I really enjoy reading that trope. It just has to have the right amount of stakes, the right amount
Mhm.
of motivation
Yep.
to it. And if that's like executed well, I think this would be a great read, because oh my god, who doesn't love a jealous Levi? And
Exactly. This is like very interesting with Hanji getting married
yeah.
and then Levi like panicking, or what the heck do I do? Yeah. So after, if you have more stuff to say, Ness, just reminding you that, or at least letting you know that Gabby wants to speak after you. So if
Yes,
she's
yes,
gonna
please go
mute.
ahead.
Hi, Gabby. So she can voice out her opinions as well.
Yes, yes, go
Gabby.
ahead.
All right, since at the RK was like, Gaby, where's your
Yes.
voice? Well, here it is. It's here. It's back.
Thank
Also,
you.
sorry if I sound nasal or
You're
something. I'm
blessed.
currently sick. But all right, so reading this thick, okay, let me just check. It has 31 pages, at least from the platform where I'm reading
It's
it
wild,
from.
isn't it?
And I'm not quite sure. Yes, it's it's quite long. So I'm not sure what the author's plan is. But Atenes has already said a lot of points with the tenses and the characterization, and I do agree with that. So let me just perhaps tackle on a different aspect. Lengthwise, for if it's like a one shot, there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with it. But the author could also consider making it a multi chapter fic just for them to be able to flesh
Oh
out the
yeah,
details a little bit more, since angst does take a while to develop. It hits
That's
harder
true.
when it's slow burn. It
that's
just
true.
right, and usually in one shots it's almost not impossible, but it's challenging to incorporate angst without compromising quality. So perhaps just a suggestion, but definitely not an obligation. This could definitely be a multi-chapter fic. You could flesh out the details about Hanji's family, like where did that come from, and how does Zachary feel about
Yes.
this, and their parents, and everything else, and Levi's drunk scene, the dialogue. This is a very, very promising fic. Um, a little work on the tenses would definitely bring this to another
Yep.
level. That's for sure. Um,
I
word
agree with.
choice.
Yep.
Word choice is
Or the
almost
paragraph
perfect.
breaks. Yep.
Yeah, there are some paragraphs which perhaps might be a little repetitive with the sentence construction. So maybe tweak it a little bit here and there so that the tenses are in line with each other. But other than that, just like what I said, it's very promising since we have the potential of a jealous Levi. You know, Hanji isn't a damsel in distress. That's what we know, and the way that she was written here, she's not totally helpless, but vulnerable, perhaps. And we love to see vulnerability being fleshed out. Perhaps if it's a multi-chapter fic, the concept of Hanji being vulnerable would definitely add that angsty concept to this write up. But other than that, I can't wait for the author to take in the suggestions and perhaps, um, you know, tweak it a little, tweak it here and there. But other than that, I'm excited to give support to this author. And congratulations for submitting this amazing write up. That's it.
You're not done yet,
That's
Gaby. What else?
great.
What else did you enjoy
Thanks.
about the story? Yes, I'm gonna milk your time
Oh my gosh,
while
what did
you're
I
on
enjoy about this?
there.
Okay, the thing is,
Are there any paragraphs, any scene, any dialogues that you
oh my
definitely
gosh.
enjoyed in the story?
Okay. Can I just say that didn't quick? She was just like, she was a peacemaker, but she wasn't a killjoy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She broke up that little fight or like that argument between Levi and
Oh
Mike
yeah.
without, yeah, and that's very of her. I just can't explain it, but I love the way that she's written,
I know.
and
That's
I
It's
true.
so
know because
enjoyable
usually
whenever you see Nana Buzz like the national best friend.
I know,
I
and
know, right?
right,
It's like
I
a national
know
trope for like Nanaba whenever
exactly.
Nanaba is in the store in like fan fiction. She's
No,
like
that's so
either
true.
the side
Hmm.
guard
Like
or
the
like the
same
guard.
best
What do you call
friend.
it? The sidekick. Yep,
I know. She's
exactly.
like none of a best girl, that's it. And dialogue,
I
um
know.
speaking of accuracy,
Mm.
perhaps okay, I've never been drunk, all right? So I'm underage. I've never
Wait
drunk
in like
anything.
2 3 months
So
when she
uh
becomes legal.
oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh
I'm
but
gonna
yeah, I
set up
turned
a
18
fiesta
on
for you.
October. But yeah, I don't know much about how to write someone drunk, but the outburst
You
but
don't need to.
Levi's
You just
out.
need to do it.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
There's no
Just
try.
do
There's
it.
only do.
Oh yeah. Or just like ask all the fossils here, like, hey, you've been
Hmm.
drunk, right? Something
Hello.
like that. But
What are you
yeah, the
talking about?
prospect of drunk Levi in this, um, I personally see Levi as someone who would take him a lot before he would really snap, you know? So maybe flesh the dialogue tags a little bit more, since
That's
if we're
true.
putting dialogue after dialogue after dialogue, instead of
Yeah.
it appearing like a fanfic, sometimes the readers might feel like they're reading a script instead of a fanfic, you know? So that's something that we have to be careful about. But it's alright because like Levi and Mike were really in the heat of the conversation. So I would assume that's what the author is trying to imply, that they
I
were
think
just
that's
like
okay for
throwing,
me.
yeah,
Mhm.
conversation back and forth at each other. Um,
I want
but
to expound more
yeah,
on
That
that.
is true.
other than that,
Yep.
I do have like
yeah, that's
one. I do have a
mm-hmm,
point to add for like what Gaby just said right now. The drunk
mm-hmm,
shouting match between Levi and Mike has way too many exclamation marks. And if the exclamation marks are cut down in itself, I think it would make a great, shouting match. And the fact is, Levi is not the type to like just as Gaby said, he's not easily broken. So I think even if he drinks, he would probably mask his emotions with something like dry sarcasm or like stoic shit references. So, and even when it comes to Hanji's character, she would probably like when she was presented with the proposal of, oh, you're gonna marry this guy, right? And she immediately goes on the defensive. I think Hanji probably would be the type to kind of like laugh off any, marriage proposal that's just presented to her and kind of like diffuse the tension with her humor instead of like just immediately going, no, you can't do this to me. So I think that's just one aspect of their characters that I would like to tweak. And along with that, there's also one more thing that I wanted to mention, which was the plot twist with Elias helping Hanji in the end. I did not expect that. I did not see that
Yep.
coming, but I loved it. I loved it so much. But oh my god, I wish we could have had more Elias at this point. I know he's an original character, but
Hmm.
the way that he just straight up was like a good sport and went along with the entire thing, just so that like Hanji could go and meet like Levi and he could go and have he could go with his girlfriend and he even like proposed to hold off
Hmm.
the entire wedding party until Hanji escapes. I think we need more of Elias here. We need more of
Exactly.
his relationship
Yep, I think
with
I like the
yeah,
insertion of this new character because it builds out more, or at least it increases like the tension within the story.
exactly.
No, I already enjoyed like the scenes between Levi and Mike and like them like Mike forcing him like, "You like Angie? No, no. Do you love Angie? So what? Are you fucking serious? Do you fucking love that 4 eyes?" Yeah, sorry for the cursing
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
okay.
in the story. And she loved to call Angie. Why don't you bust your butt out? Huh? Your sulking wouldn't do you both good. Why are you shouting at me? And what's the point? What's even the point? Tell me. It's just so funny.
I
It's
think
like
that,
there's so much.
yeah,
It's
there's
like
so much
bursting with
going
so
on.
much emotion. Exactly. It's like exactly what happens during a drunken spree with friends when you're forcing
Oh,
like your friends to
we would
like
see that we would
confess.
see that with Jazzy in the upcoming, their chat with about Levi Han. I'm so excited for that.
Sorry to interrupt. 6 minutes left.
Hi Jill, gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. We got this. We got this, Ness.
Yeah, let's
What
go
else
through the
are
comments.
Okay.
Okay,
You wanna
let's see.
read yep. We'll take turns. You
Um,
wanna do Anna's? And then I'll read Annie's. Yep.
okay, wait.
It's in the
Anna's was like,
workshop.
I was puzzled by the character's decisions sometimes, how circumstances turn out. It sometimes felt like what happens defies the natural, explainable flow of things to make Levi and Hanji's be in one situation. That is true. I mean, but the thing is, it's a fanfic, right? So, like, we can, go ahead with, like, whatever we want. But yes, as you said, I think the stakes and the motivation needs to be more clear. It needs to be higher, I guess, so that you can kind of flow. There's a limit to how much people can agree with what's going on in the story, and
Mm-hmm.
if it feels forced, I think that would kind of like ruin the experience. So if the stakes are higher, I don't think it would feel any forced at all. Um, Weird things happening is not a bad thing, but I'll illustrate with examples. Until Levi came, no one thought of getting Hanji out there, or so it seemed. When Levi resorted to drinking, why? Because it's jealous, Levi. Suddenly they changed their minds. How did they know about the wedding anyway? Did Nanaba receive the invitation and tell everyone the core because everyone's HQ was gloomy? That's true. Nanaba did get the invitation, and she was the one to reveal about like where the wedding is going on and stuff. Why did Hanji just sit there in her room thinking Levi saved me? That is true. I think that was out of character a bit. They could probably like change it to something more Hanji like. Of course, she would be like that. Her own parents betrayed her, but I would like to read through her comments a little to,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, read through her thoughts a little to confirm that what made her so helpless. Okay. Um, the whole changing clothes part has to be just, yeah, it's kind of like, it's more of plot convenience, I guess. But that's fine, there are like, you're not making this entire setting, it's a one shot as the writer has written it. So I guess in order to save time, we just rely on plot convenience. I wonder how is that possible and why the story needs that apart from the Olo
Yep.
Petra scene. I really like the Olo Petra scene, by the way.
Definitely. There's like a lot of like scenes here that I definitely enjoyed. I think it's
Yes.
really just more of fleshing out on what do you call it?
Yeah.
How to parse the different scenes together in such a way that they're seamless and that we don't confuse but the changes in the tenses or the what do you call it?
Hmm.
The narratives in the timeline.
Yes.
So we get to understand whether or not the author herself chooses to do a nonlinear narrative or like to do it in a series of flashbacks. um,
That's fine.
I think as
Yeah.
readers, we want to be able to follow through what how the characters are interacting in every scene. So I think that's like just one revision point that I want to um, in addition to
That's
what
true.
people have already
That's
said
fair enough.
in the workshop channel.
That's true. There are definitely a few loose ends, but if those are tied together and if the stakes are raised, I think it would be like a great fic. Yeah, I
Exactly.
swear to God, no sarcasm or irony. I loved each and every of their interactions. Yes, be it Levi and VK or Hanji or what. That's true. That's true. VK's letter. Yes, I agree. I agree. The last scene was so cute. I know. I think my favorite part of this fic was just the letter. Oh my God, the amount of sass that VK has. Oh boy, I really liked it. Yep, let's go again. Let's
Excellent.
go ahead with the next comment. RK, please go on.
All right, so we're reading Annie's Annie's comments. Annie says Annie likes the cuteness of it. Oh, somebody speaking.
Me, I want to talk.
Hi, Dan. You want to add something? Hi, Turtle.
Go on.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
I didn't notice I had the microphone on before, and I think I interrupted. Maybe. Okay, I was gonna say first that everyone says that Levi doesn't get drunk, but I think that's
In the story,
kind
it's
of
very different.
integrity. Yeah, it's kind of a misinterpretation.
That's true.
And
Like,
it's fine. I definitely enjoyed
you know,
it.
Mikasa got drunk,
Oh yeah, she did.
so that
Yeah, in the
actually
canon.
refutes the theory. Yeah, in canon. I think Kenny too. I think that meant more like Levi isn't the type of person who will get drunk. Like, who is his personality um, is in one who will like to drink a lot and that. Um, also, also some useful error that I see when people write drunk people is like they they do totally a mess that is very out of character. Kinda how to say it?
Go on. As in, like, you think the way they're like speaking is more excited, or do you think like it's not according to, you know, how their bearing is?
It's like sometimes when people who generally write drunk characters, they make them out of character, like the alcohol will do them do things that wouldn't do anyways. So I think it's maybe a suggestion, or I don't know who to say it. It will be that alcohol just do you more like a little more inhibited, little more looser, but not too much. Like
Okay, so like
I
that
can
was
feel
like
it.
way too loose.
Huh?
Okay. I mean, could be. I haven't got
Thank
drunk.
you for that,
You know?
Dandy. Yep, that was very
Yeah.
interesting. Oh,
Also, I have more zoom. I can see too much. Thank you.
Okay.
thanks, Dandy.
Yay.
That was real helpful.
We'll continue
I'm
with
glad you
Annie's
saw.
comment.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but
let's continue
time's
with-
out. Time's up.
Oh,
Oh,
time's
time's
out.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just wrap this in like a minute. You want to do it, Ness? Just thank the author
Yeah,
for
let's
the
like
comments.
I'm just
Hope-
going through
yeah.
like Annie's comments where she's like be cute, and the fact that it's a casual story, and it can be strengthened by more conflict, and the improvements is basically about clarity. So if they kind of tweak the clarity more as to if we knew why Elliot wants Hanji to be married to his son so badly, that's true. I think if there are some more background details that are given to the story, I think it would be a great one. And Annie has given like a very good explanation, so I hope the author like goes through it. Ro said arranged marriage fic and jealous Levi. Yes, it's so enjoyable. Maybe the author could stretch out the angst some more. That is true. Cal is also writing down what they think is can be improved in the fic. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's a great fic. It has good potential.
Yep,
Maybe a
I
little bit
agree.
fleshing out, and it would be amazing. Yep, that's
Correct.
okay.
Yay! So that was real
Hey!
wonderful. Yay! Congratulations to the author. They prefer not to. She prefers not to reveal herself, but all the same, congratulations for writing this fic so far, and we're really interested to see how you would revise and hopefully publish your work in the future. So we're thank you, Nez, as well for facilitating these few works. Definitely appreciate it. Hooray for you.
Thank
Let's give
you.
Nez a round of applause as well. We're gonna take
I'll clap for
let's take
myself.
a quick 5 minute break. Yes, exactly. Let's take a
Hey!
quick 5 minute break, and then when we get, so it's 11:10 on my end. So in 5 minutes, 11:15.
Hmm.
Hopefully we can start on work number
The
4.
second batch.
Ro will be facilitating. Yep, works 4 to 6. So if you guys want to
I'm
stretch
so
your muscles,
excited.
take a quick water break, bathroom break, please do so. I need to pee as well. But yes, all right, we'll be back soon, guys. Talk to you later.
Woohoo! Bye bye.